The gentle lady now from Illinois, Miss Miller, is recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you so much, Mr. Secretary. I'm grateful for the opportunity today to address questions and concerns of producers. And I want to say that I understand from personal experience, my husband and I have been running a multi-generational family farm and cow-calf operation. And our 2 adult sons are now struggling to carry on. So many of these concerns I have a deep a deep understanding of, and they definitely affect many of our neighbors and friends that are involved in this industry. So, Mr. Secretary, in your testimony, you mentioned that the department will be complementing the proposed Packers and Stockyards rules with enhanced market transparency tools under our Market News Service and Livestock Mandatory Reporting Act. Would you please explain what sorts of tools you are referring to?
We just issued 2 additional studies to provide additional resources and information that would provide, based on LMR data. We're also having we also had a webinar recently to give folks a better understanding of how to utilize LMR. So additional market news reports and webinars to make sure producers are fully aware. We'll continue to look for ways in which we can, as I mentioned earlier, utilize libraries so people understand and appreciate as well contract provisions that may be fair and reasonable to be included in their contracts.
Thank you. I look forward to having access to you to bring ideas from the producers.
Well,
and Mr. Secretary, I know you are aware many in the cattle industry and in Congress are eager to learn the results of the DOJ's investigation of beef packers announced in the summer of 2020. To date, the DOJ has not provided any updates regarding the investigation status or conclusive reports resulting from its review. Would you please describe how the USDA collaborates with or supports the DOJ during such an investigation? And do you have insight on when we can expect to see the conclusion of the investigation?
I don't have insight in terms of when the DOJ will finish their work, but I will tell you that USDA is engaged and involved in providing the technical assistance, the data, the information that the DOJ requests. We are the sort of the depository of a lot of information, a lot of data about the market, which the DOJ requests, and we provide it as they request it so that they can make a proper evaluation and determination.
Okay, and we look forward to getting more of that information. And finally, Mr. Secretary, when the president promised not to raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000 a year, is it reasonable to presume that the promise included farm and ranch families? Can you guarantee that no rancher who makes less than $400,000 per year will face new taxes or increased borrowing costs due to the president's support drastically reducing the estate tax exemption?
Well, I don't think the president hasn't made any recommendation to reduce the estate tax exemption. That's still $11 million, and I don't think there's any change that's been proposed there. I think what you may be asking about is a stepped-up basis. That's a different issue. And I will tell you that our ERS has taken a look at this, and they have concluded not once but twice that roughly 98% of family farms in this country are not going to be impacted and affected by this. And so I would stand on the ERS study, happy to provide it to you if you have not had a chance to read it.
Are you saying that rolling that back is not going to affect the family farm or ranch?
I'm sorry, what?
Did you just say that rolling back the stepped up basis is not going to affect them?
Well, that's because there are 2 very important conditions here. One is if the farm continues to be owned and operated by the family, there is no impact, there is no tax due, there's no capital gains that's due at that point in time. Secondly, if in fact, at some point in time in the future, the family decides to sell the farm and get out of the farming business, there are exemptions, $1 million a person. When you combine the exemptions and the fact that the vast majority of farms that are being transferred will continue to be owned and operated by the family, you're talking about 98% of the farms. The people that are going to be impacted by this are people like me. I'm an owner of a farm. My kids are never going to be farmers. The farm I own has been appreciated over the last 30 years that I've owned it. And the reality is, if my kids sell it, then, you know, I think, frankly, I'm okay with them having to pay tax because I'm not a farmer. They're not farmers. We are
Okay.
trying to protect the family farm, and I think the family farms are being protected.
Well, I just.
The time of the gentlewoman
Well,
has
the-
expired.
Going back stepped-up basis is the end of the family farm.
I don't agree, but respectfully.
The gentlelady from Louisiana, Mrs. Letlow, is recognized